I was raised by a single mom.
Independent.
My parents were really supportive of me.
My parents were divorced when I was 4.
They've been married for like 20 some odd years.
My mother was a very strong-headed woman.
I mean, I saw my dad a lot growing up, but I didn't really get a very strong sense of how women were viewed by men. My mom, she kind of instilled in me that if you keep yourself thin, you'll have a better life as a woman, which is like a pretty strong message to send, like a young girl. I had an eating disorder in high school, and then in college, it came back. Finally, I just didn't want to keep that cycle going, and so I thought, I'm going to continue to struggle with this my entire life unless I educate myself. So I took nutrition courses and got a certification in nutrition.
They taught me that whatever I wanted to do, if I set my mind to it, I could do it. And they were very supportive. So whatever I wanted to try, they let me. Well, it's kind of funny because it typically, like, the man brings home the money and everything, and my dad is self-employed and my mom makes more money than my dad. So she has like a regular person job, and my dad he's like a landlord and he rehabs houses and flips them.
I didn't really have a dad, like that's weird. It was kind of like 2 kids with no parents, just kind of running free, having a good time. Growing up in America, you can become really, really sheltered. We were in Mali, Africa, which is one of the poorest countries on the planet. Women having babies that they can't take care of, and one woman actually offered my mom her baby. They just had an elegance to them that was so astounding. They know who they are more than a lot of people who have way more.
I knew that I was being raised as a girl and this was my role in life. There's differences between girls and boys and men and women, but not so much on what you can do and who you can be. But there are different strengths and different weaknesses and different ways you think.
They have gone through so many stages. They're both very philosophers, and they always thought about that women are almost like goddess. But then in the end, my dad was raised by a chauvinist mother. So in the end, that stays. Even though his mind was like feminine power and women are the same and everything, his instincts were, chauvinist, but his mind was not, so it was a conflict, and still is being a conflict.
Growing up, I didn't see tremendous differences between the responsibilities of men and women or these gender role expectations. It wasn't something that I was aware of until I've read about it. It's like, oh, there's actually a name for stuff like that. There's certain responsibilities that my father took and certain responsibilities that my mother took, and I never thought of it as something, well, this is something that girls do and this is something that boys do. And my mother was she was a very strong woman. It's funny to think of that question with her, because it's never crossed my mind that my mother was someone who's supposed to be in the house, she's gonna cook. She didn't cook. She worked outside the house, and she always instilled in me that you can do anything you want to do. And it has nothing to do with whether you're a woman or a man, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're tall, whether you're short, whether you're skinny. It's who you are from the inside out. There was never any question. There's never any question.
I mean, I was that 13-year-old girl who was looking at the magazines and really wanting role model or somebody to teach me how to be a woman. And so when you're looking at those women and they're fitting a certain standard and you're not, you feel like you're not the right type of woman.
I think it just made me stronger. There are real problems in this world that I want to be part of the change.